Respected Dean, College of Engineering, Guindy, Professor Suganti Ma'am, Chief Guest of today's function, Mr. C.K. Kumaravel, CEO and co-founder of Groom India Salon and Spa Private Limited, Mr. Balaji Rajaram, Director of Engineering at Logitech India Private Limited, and another speaker who will be joining us through online mode, Mr. Jayandran, Venuko, Chief Product and Technologist, Officer at Flipkart, our former Dean, Professor Sekhar sir, and our alumni, Mr. Saravanan, other faculty members, my own colleague, Professor Sendil Kumar, who is the Treasurer of CTF, and the most awaiting and deserving first year students. Hearty welcome to one and all for this function. And it is the first function after a very long time, which is organized by CTF, deservingly, because CTF is one of the techno-management team of CEG, and we know that in spite of the pandemic, in spite of so much of uncertainty, the students are toiling a lot to organize this event. And for the information of first year student, I would like to say that the final year students are writing their exams, but in spite of all that, they have taken this effort in organizing this program, especially for the benefit of first year students. Because though we as teachers teach you the subject and impart the domain knowledge, as we have been talking, leisurely, what extra skills you acquire during your stay in college. So that is going to give you a very good space when you go to your professional life. In that way, CEG is known for its culture and tradition. We encourage our own students to take part in so many other activities, and CTF is one of the very well recognized such technical activity which we do every year in spite of the pandemic. Even last year we did this through online mode, and it was also very well received, completely online. But we must thank Almighty for permitting us to conduct this program through offline mode. And let us hope and wish that the Kurukshetra 2022 happens through offline mode, so that there is more participation from so many engineering college students and from our own students. And the students are longing to have this kind of one-to-one interaction with each other. But at the same time, we humbly request all our students to follow the standard procedures which is provided by the government, because every time we conduct this kind of program, Dean knows how difficult it is to talk to the management and then get the approval. Because, we are answerable to the government, we are answerable to your parents and so on. So though we conduct this for the benefit of students, we request all the students to take utmost care when you are here and when you are in all the programs, because there will be a lot of such programs, because the final year, third year and second year students are writing their exams, but once they come back, the activities will be in full swing. So please take care of your health, and then try to participate in all the activities and acquire knowledge. Good. So let me formally welcome our beloved Dean. So in spite of all the odd moments, whenever student reach her for any kind of help, I have seen her working in so many occasions closely, but in this position, when she is sitting as a dean and talking to students, she is so humble, and she doesn't have any hesitation in responding to the students' call. So in that way, the students are more comfortable in meeting Dean than me. So that is the kind of, association Dean ma'am has with students. So because students have told me so many times. So that is the kind of affection and love she has for the student community. So thank you very much, ma'am, for your support and guidance. So I wholeheartedly welcome our Dean, who is going to preside over the function. So please give her a big round of applause. Yeah. Thank you. So we have, as I told, two guests here in physical mode and one guest in online mode. And so we, of course, it was so interesting to listen to him when we were discussing in Dean's office. We, as teachers, we teach you the domain knowledge, and maybe we train you to face the professional life also. But when you go out, especially in this competitive scenario, in this global market, one thing that is very important is how you present yourself. That is very important. So in that sense, I think this guest, he is doing a lot of role in that. நம்ம தமிழில் சொல்லுவோம் ஆள் பாதி ஆடை பாதி. So அந்த first ஆள் பாதிக்கு I think he is doing a lot of work. And it was great listening to him when he was there, and he will talk a lot about the scope and the areas in which the entrepreneurs can come up in life, all that. So it is something different and very much encouraging for people who would like to think out of the box. So that way, we are eagerly waiting to listen to you, Mr. C.K. Kumaravel. So thank you, sir, for being your present here, and thank you very much. Please give him a big round of applause. Coming to Mr. Balaji Rajaram. So again, so good to know that his daughter studied here and his son is also in the final year. So it is a news to us when he comes here, and that is the culture and tradition of CEG. So knowingly or unknowingly, we get the right set of people for the right event. So I don't think we will have we will not get an opportunity to have a proud parent like him in the stage. So thank you very much, sir, for being here. And so she, of course, his daughter studied in IT. So she is one of the good academician. And when she left the campus, she left with a lot of credits. And so he said, like, as a parent, I never visited the college. So that is the credit the daughter can give to his father. And so, it is good to see the parent of alumni coming and inaugurating this event. So thank you very much, sir, for being here. So, and Professor Sekhar, most of you are, you would have seen him somewhere in the campus, but he was one of our dean, former dean, and he is an alumni of this institution. He did his undergraduate, postgraduate, PhD in this campus, and he is one of the well-wisher of this campus. So his heart and soul revolves around this campus 24/7. So, and he never misses any such activity, and I think it is his own brainchild. So this was inaugurated by him when he was a dean, and then the students came up with this idea, and so he is here with us. So thank you very much, sir, for your presence. And now he is a visiting professor, and he loves teaching, and he is a professor in civil engineering department. If anybody wants to listen to him, the old stories, he will share with you all that. Okay, and I welcome Saravanan. He is our alumni, and his father is also an alumni of our institution. So nice to see people And so hope you will learn a lot out of this experience. So Kurukshetra is known for that. So as a first year student, so please get involved. So the beauty here is we don't interfere in any of their activity, that is their student directors' activities. So the student directors are elected by the outgoing students, and they identify the right set of student to conduct the next year Kurukshetra. And so around 40 student directors are there. So they have been running around and they have been trying their best efforts to reach you, and definitely they deserve a very big round of applause. I request all the student directors to come forward. I think, please, all the student directors, can you come forward? Make it fast. Yeah, please. Yeah, I think they deserve a very big round of applause. Okay. So they run around so many times. Sometimes they are able to meet us, they are not able to meet us, but in spite of all that, they come, ensure that at the end of the day, they are able to execute things in proper. Thank you very much. So please enjoy, and your cooperation will motivate them a lot, and it will, take you to greater heights, and enjoy your day. So take part in all the activities conducted by CEG Tech Forum, and so hope to see you all in all the events. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your most humble welcome to this event, sir. Before we get on board with today's proceedings, here is a little recap of CEG Tech Forum and Kurukshetra. Started in 2006 as a non-profit organization for technical management, this exclusive student-run forum motivates young minds near and far to innovate and includes the multifaceted industrial exposure to students in technology-based international relation, brand relation, marketing, finance, logistic arts, human resource, and sorts. And the creme de la creme, the managerial roles of CTF is Kurukshetra, which is an annual international techo management fest. Kurukshetra, or K, houses a variety of technically competitive events that are refurbished for celebrating the battle of brains. Yet, no accomplishment is truly won without the guidance of Supreme to kindle the sparks. That being said, I humbly request our Honorable Dean, Dr. L. Sugundi Ma'am, to deliver the presidential address.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, Professor Shekhar sir, former Dean, College of Engineering, my mentor, my student friends, a very good evening to one and all present here. On behalf of the faculty, students of CEG, it is my proud privilege to welcome our guests, Mr. Kumaravel sir, Mr. Balaji Rajaram, who are here with us, and Mr. Jayandran, Venuko, who will be joining us online. In 2006, I think it was Professor Shekhar sir who initiated this Kurukshetra, and at that point I was a faculty in the Department of Management Studies. And I used to wonder, what is engineering students talking about management, because all the events there was talking of management. And I think the motto was Battle of Brains at that point. And I used to wonder what is happening inside. And in one of those events, in the subsequent year, I was made as one member in the team. And whatever we learn in management, I found that the students of engineering were doing it in practice. If this event was organized by the final year students, what happens is, whatever they learn, they take it out of the college. But this event was so programmed, so planned in such a manner that the second year, third year, and the final year were involved in conducting the program. And the team, whatever team we take, I found that it had fourth year, third year, and second year. The beauty of that is, even if the fourth year pass out of the college, the third and the second year carry forward the tradition, carry forward the learning, and they train their juniors. And I think the success of this event is because of that management training, which I think Sega sir instigated in the students at that point of time. So at the outset, I need to thank sir for his continued support, for his continued presence in every aspect of CEG. We used to say that even the brick, every brick of CEG will talk of Professor Shekhar sir, because everything that you find today it would have started off way back then. So I welcome you, sir, and I'm happy to see you here. I think Kurukshetra, all of us know that is a technique management event. As a management professor, what I used to feel is, engineering is very easy because it's all about machines, products, and it's all things or products which I can make happen. But when it comes to people, it is very difficult to make people think and do as I want them to do. So even as engineers, it is very important that we learn management skills for us to be a success in life. What I mean by that is, if today I ask one student to stand up on the chair, do you think the girl will stand up and in front of this audience, will she stand up on the chair? She will not, because there will be an inhibition in her that what will people say? What will they think of me? So management is something where I understand what people think, I understand why they behave the way they behave, and how do I look at challenges? How do I take up the challenges? When we were talking in the dean's office, I was sitting back and wondering, as I was talking, I was wondering how professor was looking at, Kumarvel sir was looking at the challenges. He was telling this corona had made him think differently. He comes from the saloon industry, beauty parlor. So during the corona period, many of us didn't want to visit a beauty parlor because we felt it's not the right place or a safe place. In the pandemic, sir, when he was put in such a tight situation, he was able to think differently, and he started making business out of this stressful situation, and today he is coming here and giving us a success story. So that is what management is all about. So as an engineering student, I think it is very important that we learn how to manage ourselves, manage people around us, manage the society for the benefit of everyone. So I'm sure this Kurukshetra, the event, the people organizing it as well as the people on the other side listening to it, take each of these learning back and practice it so that we become a success story in our life. Second thing is, okay, we all talk about success story. It is even more important that we learn from the failure stories. There are many people who failed, but very rarely their events are documented, their history is documented. But today, industry wants people to know how I can learn from failure. So, learning from failure is equally important as learning from success. How did I overcome my failure? How fast I'm able to jumpstart from my failure is an equally important lesson as we learn from a success story. So these are some things which we need to keep in mind when we go through these events. Learn, take up challenges, never fumble. There will be barriers, there will be obstacles. As administrators, at some point of time, I need to say no for certain things. But it's up to you to convince in a positive manner and take things in a positive way and see to it that both of us come to a win-win situation. So that is what we expect you to learn during your period of study in this campus, because all of us will be proud at the end of the day to say, I am a CGN. Second thing is about sponsorship. I think all the CG Tech Forum, for running any event, requires money. And they have started running around to get sponsorship. But as a student of CEG, I think it's each one's responsibility to find out how I can source money, how can I get funds for running this event or any event for that matter. Why I say that is automatically each one of you have to approach an industry. When you approach an industry, you start learning how to talk to people. And over a period of time, you start gaining the confidence on getting things done. You know how to present yourself, you know how to groom yourself and to talk in a way that is appealing to the other person. So second thing that I am making a request before this forum is, it is the responsibility of each one of us to go around, get sponsorship. Each one of us, if we are able to get 5,000 or 10,000 minimum, I think this event can be done in a very successful manner, and we can do it at the international level. Okay. Before I close, whatever happens, I think we should look at the positive side of things. When I look at the positive side of things, take things in a positive way, whatever comments that comes to us, I think we start learning. And it's not only we loving the world, when we start taking each of the things in a positive manner, whether it's critical comments or positive comments, end of the day, we find that the world starts loving us. So with these few words, I wish you all the best for this program. Let's kickstart it in a positive manner. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We now request our respected Dean to present the memento to the guest of the day. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. C.K. Kumaravel, sir, is the CEO and co-founder of Naturals, India's #1 hair and beauty salon. Along with his wife, K. Veena, he transformed the image of the salon industry from being entitled as a taboo activity to a lifestyle industry in 2000. His inspiration was his mother, R.C. Hemalata. His belief in women paved a way to create a housewife-free India. With the vision of creating 1,000 successful women entrepreneurs, the couple established this facility 19 years ago, franchising over 650 plus salons across the country. Naturals created 400 women franchise partners, trained over 10,000 staffs, and has achieved various milestones under the leadership of Mr. C.K. Kumaravel, sir. I request our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. C.K. Kumaravel, sir, to deliver the K-Talk.
Thanks, Anjali, for that wonderful introduction. My friends on the dais, Suganti, Dr. Swaminathan, Balaji, and Sendil Kumar. My friends here, Saravanan and Dr. Shekhar. My new friends, Vaishnavi and Shruti and Yashwant, and all the first-year students. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to deliver that K-Talk to you. திருவள்ளுவர் ரொம்ப அழகா சொல்வாரு, பொருள் இல்லாருக்கு இவ்வுலகில்லை, அருள் இல்லாருக்கு அவ்வுலகில்லை அப்படின்னு சொல்லி இந்த 7 வார்த்தையில ரொம்ப அழகா சொல்லிட்டு போயிட்டார். அப்படின்னா, if you don't make money, this world is not for you. If you don't have divine grace, that world is not for you. அவையார் இருந்தாங்கன்னா இப்போ அறம் செய்ய விரும்பு அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்க மாட்டாங்க, பொருள் செய்ய விரும்பு அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க. அந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு காலகட்டத்தில் நம்ம நகர்ந்துட்டு இருக்கிறோம். Nothing great in this world can be made without infrastructure. To make infrastructure, you need a lot of money, and money can be made only by entrepreneurs. That's why I fondly call entrepreneurs as the new age freedom fighters who will pull India from the shackles of poverty. I call entrepreneurs as the new age freedom fighters who will pull India from the shackles of poverty. Today we are in a very new kind of scenario. Corona has come and it has impacted most of the industries fundamentally. இந்தியாவில் வந்து சாதாரணமாக பிஸ்னஸ் செய்கிறதுனாவே அவங்களுக்கெல்லாம் வந்து பத்மஸ்ரீ அவார்டு கொடுத்துடணும். இந்த கொரோனா காலத்தில் பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணுறதுன்னா வந்து எல்லாருக்கும் வந்து பாரத் ரத்னாவே கொடுக்கணும். அந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு டைமு. பட் ஹேவிங் செட் தட், நம்ம வந்து வி ஆல் ஃபேண்டசைஸ் தி சினிமா ஹீரோஸ் அண்ட் சினிமா ஹீரோயின்ஸ் as heroes and sheroes. Actually, they should be called as entertainers because their job is to entertain us, and that's where they stand. Only the entrepreneurs should be called as the heroes and sheroes because they can only create the jobs which is most needed in the world, especially for India today. Abdul Kalam said so beautifully. He said, India doesn't require job seekers. India requires job providers. India requires entrepreneurs. The first entrepreneur I saw in my life is obviously my father. I'm from a small town called Kadalur near Pondicherry, in a large middle class family. My father's primary business is to buy pharma products in bulk, put it in small packets and distribute to medical shops. He was a very curious and innovative entrepreneur. He will always look for new ideas, new challenges, new opportunities. One day he was traveling to Singapore to attend an exhibition, and in his suitcase was a Tata bottle shampoo. Fortunately for us and unfortunately for him, the bottle broke and it soiled the entire dress. Instead of blaming the Tata bottle maker or the suitcase maker, he said, hey, here is a problem. Can I fix it and convert to an opportunity? And that's called entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is not about the MBA degree. It is not about having lakhs of money in your bank account. It's not about a Tata Birla surname. It's your ability to think different. Can you look at a problem and say, here is an opportunity? Then you are ready for entrepreneurship. Remember, I told you my father bought pharma products in bulk and put it in small packets. He thought, hey, why not I also pack shampoo in the small packets? He made his own machine. He made his own shampoo formulation. He packed India's first sachet shampoo and called it Velvet and launched it to the market. Last decade, India Today came out with an article about 50 revolutions which changed India after independence. My father's sachet innovation was number 8 in that. That was one of the most gratifying moments for us. But he said something very interesting. He said, what a rich person is able to enjoy, the poor person should be able to afford. That was his thought process for packing the shampoo. Today, whenever I see so many other products being packed in the sachets and hanging in the shelf when I go to the shop, I silently thank my father because at that point of time, he had an opportunity to patent that sachet. And he said, no, this concept should not be patented because this should be available for every product, not restricted only to shampoo. And because of that, today we see multiple products, everything hanging in as sachets. The second entrepreneur I like the most is Indian entrepreneur is Dhirubhai Ambani. This Dhirubhai Ambani is a 9th standard Gujarati medium dropout, school dropout. He went to Saudi Arabia as a petrol pump boy. One day he was putting petrol to one of the car. In the other track, one big car came. All the other attendants rushed to that car. And after putting the petrol, Dhirubhai asked, who is this fellow? Why you all rushed to that car? And the other attendants told, no, you don't know him. He's a big oil well owner. If you go and salute him, he will give a lot of tips. And Dhirubhai told, no, I will not. I will not salute him. But one day I will own an oil well. Everybody laughed. And Dhirubhai had the last laugh. You know why? In the morning, he was a petrol pump boy. In the night, he used to work in an auditor's office and write accounts. End of the first month, the auditor's assistant gave him a salary check. Instead of getting that check, he said, no, I don't want. The assistant told this boy is working well, maybe he is expecting more salary. He told his senior, and the senior called him and asked him, hey, why are you not taking the check? Dhirubhai told, I have not come here to earn. I have come here to learn. Look at that petrol pump boy's urge to learn. And that's what has made Dhirubhai Ambani. The next entrepreneur I want to talk about is Richard Branson. He's a flamboyant entrepreneur from UK. And one day he was holidaying in Hawaii. He was supposed to get back to New York City. And his flight got cancelled. 149 people. Everybody were screaming and shouting. one person saying, I have some important business meeting, one family emergency, medical emergency, my child has to go to school, blah, blah, blah. They were saying anything and everything, but nobody was taking any tangible steps. Richard Branson picked up a phone, called a private airline, hired an aircraft, and divided the ticket with 149 people and got his ticket free. On the way to New York City, he conceived the idea of Virgin Airlines for 149 people. Problem. Richard Branson, opportunity. The next entrepreneur I want to speak about is the contemporary Chinese entrepreneur, Jack Ma. In the early 90s, Jack Ma was part of the Chinese delegation. He was not an entrepreneur in the beginning. He was a translator. He was an English translator. When the world business delegation goes to China, he was part of the delegation as a translator. When the Chinese people go abroad, he was again part of the delegation as a translator. He did not have any product or any services. But he saw something very interesting and intriguing. He saw that Chinese make some wonderful product, but they are not trustworthy. Because of that, the trade was not getting closed. He told his friend in America, this is the problem. I really don't know how to solve. And after a few years, his friend from America called him, hey, come over to US. This is in mid-95. Okay, and come over to US. There is something called internet which has come. Using that, you can solve the problem. Jack Ma went to America and his friend took him to the computer room. Those days, computer used to be in one AC room and you used to leave the shoes and chappals outside as if you are entering a temple. And he go inside and he sat before the computer and he asked him, his friend told, whatever you want, you ask the computer, computer will answer. And he said, okay, he typed pizza and put enter, 10,48,500 results. He was shocked. He was not knowing what to do. And then he typed China, enter, 0 results. He was completely shocked. He came back to China, called his 24 friends, told him that something called internet has come. World can do business with China. China can do business with the world. We can start a .com company and we can make a fortune. And he spoke for 2 hours. End of the 2 hours, 23 people told, all this looks fine. It will work in America. It will not work in China. One person told, I don't know whether it will work or not, but I like your passion. I will invest with you. Thus was found Alibaba Corporation in a one-room apartment in Guangzhou, which is today world number 3 or world number 2 corporation. And Jack Ma has got something very interesting to say. He says, below 20, be a good student. You are here in the college and you come here to study and be a good student. Whatever you want to study, academics, study well. But identify your +1. This is the place to identify your +1. Your +1 may be singing, your +1 may be dancing, your +1 may be a sports, your +1 may be a music instrument, your +1 may be organizing this kind of functions, your +1 may be networking, what you are speaking in the mic, what is your +1? This is the time to identify your +1. Just having academic brilliance, having gold medal and first rank will only take you up to the interview room. After that, how you present yourself, how confident are you, how you are dressed, and these are going to make an impression to the interviewer, and that's what is going to take you up. And for that, identify your +1. And you are in a very, very crucial place. Just don't come here, study, and then go this thing. That's not going to work. World has completely changed. Identify your +1. College teaches language. It doesn't teach you communication. College teaches chemistry. It doesn't teach you teamwork. College teaches physics. It doesn't teach you goal setting. College teaches mathematics. It doesn't teach you financial intelligence. College teaches geography. It doesn't teach you how to travel. College teaches you history. It doesn't teach you how to become a leader. These are some of the qualities you require to shine in the real world. Identify your +1. Between 20 and 30, this is for the students who are now finishing it and getting into this thing. He says, between 20 and 30, please don't join big companies. Identify a small company where there is a passion, where there is a dream, where there is a problem, where there is a challenge. Already till 20, your academics have not tested your creativity and your out-of-the-box thinking and your imagination. It has only tested your memory skills. After that, you want to join big companies, and right from the time the bus picks you up to the office, to what is your team, what is the KRA, who is your supervisor, what is the lunch, what time the bus will pick you up, and what time the bus will drop you, everything is programmed. You are a small portion of a big tree. You can't even make one mistake. Already you have not made any mistake, and here you are getting into the real life. How can you learn real life without making mistake? Identify small companies where there is lot of problems, where there is lot of challenges, and that is where you can really, really learn the business. Between 30 and 40, now that you have done your experience, this is the try to do something on your own. Start your own business. If you fail, you can get up. If you fail, you can get up. There is enough time for that. Between 40 and 50, focus. Focus is your ability to say yes to the one thing and the discipline to say no to the 99 distractions. If you chase 2 rabbits, you will catch neither. Identify the rabbit you want to chase. You can change the method of catching the rabbit, but you should not change the rabbit. That is called focus. Between 50 and 60, this is not the age to try something new. Work on the field which is near you, adjacent areas. Don't try anything new. Between 60 and 70, you have got the experience and the wisdom. Partner with an youngster who have got the energy and enthusiasm. A powerful formula will emerge. Between 70 plus, go take home and rest. And that's what Jack Ma has to tell very beautifully. One of my favorite is, a lot of videos are there in YouTube. I think you can see, and very contemporary entrepreneur. The next one I want to talk about is, I finished my college and I started joining my 2 brothers. My first brother is Dr. C.K. Rajkumar of Velvet. My second brother is C.K. Ranganathan of Kavin Care. I used to be a young, restless kid. Every time I used to go and give them new ideas. Instead of dismissing the idea, they will dismiss me. They will tell you are too young. I used to feel very claustrophobic. In life, you got 2 choices. You can discuss or you can decide. People who discuss don't decide, and people who decide people who discuss don't decide, and people who decide don't discuss. I decided to start my own business, and that was the beginning of the journey. And from both the brothers, I got only one lesson. And one brother was harsh, another brother was nice, but the lesson is same. If you want to be successful in life and business, be unreasonable. Be unreasonable. A reasonable man adopts himself to the world. An unreasonable man makes the world adopt to him. So all the progress in this world is made by unreasonable people. Period. Rain fills the size of the vessel you carry. Keep a spoon outside, rain will fill a spoon. A tumbler outside, a bucket outside, a river outside, a ocean outside. What is the size of your dream? Do you want to make lakh of rupees a month? Do you want to make 3 lakhs a month? Do you want to give job to 100 people? Do you want to be the best in Chennai? Do you want to be the best in India? Or do you want to leave a mark? What is the size of your dream? It takes as much time and energy to lead an ordinary life as it takes to lead an extraordinary life. Might as well lead an extraordinary life. There is a beautiful scene in the movie called Pursuit of Happiness. In that, the father, Will Smith, will get a basketball gift to his son. Next day morning, the father and the son will get into the basketball court. This young kid will dribble and try to shoot the ball. The ball will not get into the basket. The father will scream, "Hey boy, you can't shoot now. You need to grow. Don't try." And he will try to walk out of the court. And this young kid will again dribble. This time he will throw the ball. The ball will get into the basket. The father will come into the court and put his arm around the shoulder and tell this little boy, just because the world thinks they cannot, they will tell you you cannot. If you have a dream, go ahead and shoot it. Do not listen to this world. And that's the message I got from my brothers at that point of time. One last story, I want to leave it. This happened when I was in the mid-30s. My sister came and told me the very interesting line which changed my life. She said, if you want to be successful in life and business, she said, you are responsible. You should understand that. You are responsible for your life and your own success. Till such time, I used to think my brothers are responsible, my parents are responsible, my spouse is responsible, my friends are responsible, my boss is responsible, my astrology chart is responsible, God is responsible, government is responsible. I never thought I am responsible for my success. The day my sister told that, after that my life started changing. Even if the whole world believes in you, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody can help you. On the contrary, even if the whole world doesn't believe in you, if you start believing in yourself, nobody can stop you. Self-belief is the first and the best victory. There's a beautiful statue called David in Italy, and the visitors used to marvel at that statue. And the background story is, go back 500 years, there was a 18 feet long marble block which was there, and the museum officials showed to every sculptors of that era, and they asked them, can you do something with that? Can you do something with that? Everybody looked at the marble block and told it is flawed and useless. It is flawed and useless. And then fast forward another 300 years, next superstar of sculpting industry came, who is Michelangelo. Again, the museum official showed him that marble block. Can you do something with that? Michelangelo told, yes, I will do. And he commissioned the work and started hitting the stone with his hammer and the chisel. One boy went to him and asked him, hey, what are you doing? You are hitting the stone with your hammer and chisel. And Michelangelo told, there is an angel inside. I am trying to reveal that angel to this world. Within each one of you, there is an angel. Your life journey is to reveal that angel to this world. Quality of the painting is the responsibility of the painter, no blaming allowed. Quality of the sculptor is the responsibility of the sculpture. Quality of the sculpture is the responsibility of the sculptor, no blaming allowed. Quality of your life is your responsibility. Take the life in your hand and start painting your own picture. Soon a beautiful painting called Your Life will emerge. Wishing you all the best. Together, let us build a beautiful India. Thank you so much and best wishes.
Thank you, sir, for the enlightening and inspiring talk. Before we hop on to the next segment of K-Talk, we have with us the most awaited part of today's proceedings. Embodying 30-plus events, 10-plus workshop, and a 15-year-long history of tech-driven laurels, the 16th edition of Kurukshetra indeed has got lots to offer this year. And we are enthralled to bring it to you. So, hold on your seats as we launch the official website of Kurukshetra 22. This website is exclusively open for this year registration. So, buckle up, folks. We kindly request the dignitaries to launch our website. Thank you. We request all the dignitaries to respectfully take your seats in the front.
A pleasant good evening, everyone. So I feel extremely honored to be standing here on behalf of CEG Tech Forum, and I thank the dignitaries who have graced this occasion, Mr. Kumaravel sir, Mr. Balaji Rajaram, and our dean sir and our staff coordinator who has supported us throughout, and without him this would have not been possible. So CEG Tech Forum, as you people might have already heard, started as a body which was brought together by students for making projects in their respective domains and in cross domains. Whenever a student wanted to do projects which was out of his department or out of his domain, they came to CEG Tech Forum, they made a team with students of other departments, and they started this in 2006. So after making these projects, they wanted to display it to the world. And then they started Kurukshetra as an exhibition for projects, and then also they ordered the high adrenaline rushing events to it to make it more exciting. And that was the birth of Kurukshetra. And this Kurukshetra website is being released every year since then. And this is the mark that we leave every year. And this is how the whole of India and the world has been knowing us in the name under the brand Kurukshetra and CEG Tech Forum. So I feel extremely thankful to the dignitaries for releasing the site for us today. And I would also like to give you a rough map of this site. So this is the initial release version 1.0, which is released today. And this site will keep on growing until the day Kurukshetra ends, and will also be keep on growing after the Kurukshetra ends, and then the site will be revamped next year to give you more exciting events. So we have planned more than 35 events this year for you people, and a lot of workshops, K-Talks. We have a huge guest lineup for K-Talks this year, and we also have a huge lineup of projects this year. So let me give you a rough route map of the site. So first, who are we? So you can see that in the About tab, where we have what is College of Engineering Indy, who are CEG Tech Forum, and what we do, the Kurukshetra. And then if you're going to go to the next tab, it consists of the events we do. So events, as I said, we conduct 35 plus events, which are divided into 7 domains. This will cover all domains of engineering, programming, challenges, and extravaganza. So Godspeed and Innovate. Godspeed is the flagship event which symbolizes Kurukshetra and which sees participation from all over India. Godspeed is a nitro fuel RC car race which will be happening in the ground and which is higher adrenaline even. The endurance and the design and the speed of the RC fuel nitro cars will be tested on that day. And if you're going to go to the coding events, so the first coding event we are rolling out this year is the Ninja Coding Competition. So if you see, anyone can program in a closed room with in an AC, but can you code with a lot of disturbances around you, with loud music, with dances and with celebration around you? That's Ninja Coding for you. It will contain high quality questions from various domains, and you'll have to solve them in an environment with high disturbances. And we also have a lot of projects lined up this year. As I said, CEG Tech Forum is known for its projects. The projects that students from various domains come together and make. And so we have a list of projects. We have programming projects, like we have a CEG app, we have a map, and then we also have a line marking robot, e-transmission engine, and we also have banking systems, and we have much more lined up. And we also, when we come to the workshops, so these are the projects, and during Kurukshetra, you will be viewing all these exciting projects will be lined up before you, and you can get your doubts clarified by the teams present. Then we'll also be having a press release for the same. Workshop. The first workshop we are releasing for this year is a blockchain technology workshop, which will be conducted by IBM in our campus. And we would also like you to introduce the speaker, Mr. Naren Krishnan, who will be joining us from IBM. He's in blockchain architect, and he'll be joining us during Kurukshetra. And which you are very much familiar of is the K-Talks. This is the first offline K-Talk we are doing this year, and we still have a huge lineup of guests lined up. And as I said, this is just the initial release, and this is not all. We still have a lot of events that will be updated day to day, and you can check this website for continuous updates. The registrations for these events, workshops, and projects will be open soon, and you will be able to register in all of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Srinath. Coming up is the next K-Talk speaker, Mr. Balaji Rajaram, Director of Logitech, a strategic team player with enormous experience in embedded systems, mobile application, and telecom software being his forte. He is a multi-skilled person specializing in telecommunications, embedded systems, and many more. Sir holds a remarkable history of guiding a team across the subcontinent towards product development around the globe, building and leading various organizations towards development on both product and people management. We are pleased to have you in your vicinity. The stage has just started to shine. Now we welcome to stage our second speaker of the day, Mr. Balaji Rajaram, to engage with us.
First of all, thank you, friends. Thanks for this opportunity. Actually, as they say, right, when the sun shines, the stars go away. After a fantastic speech by Mr. Kumaravel, I think whatever I'm going to say is going to be probably repackaged in a different format, probably. But I think he has already stolen the thunder. But yeah, like, no, I'm going to share, like, no, I know, like, no, many of you are actually first years and just getting into college. So I just wanted to share with you some 5 points which I learned and which we practice in our industry. The first thing I would say is like, no, so, you know, I went into my, once I went into my friend's house and he told me, you know, I taught my dog to whistle. I was surprised. And then I asked him, okay, your dog whistles, come show me, like, no, how is it whistling? Then he said, you know, I taught my dog to whistle, but he did not learn. So that's the difference between teaching and learning. So learning, like now, if you ask what is learning, right? I think Valluvar said, he defined learning very clear-cut. Eppurul yararvai ketpinum appurul meipurul kaanbadu arivu. Learning is like whatever you hear from anyone, introspect it, investigate it, inquire it, figure it out. Like, no, that is what is knowledge. Knowledge is like, no, doing our own self-inquiry and investigation. That is knowledge. And how is college different from a school? I think that's what is the most important thing, right? A college is different from school because a college gives you a learning opportunity to learn not just from your teachers, not just from your books, but from people around, from your friends, from events like this, from different sessions, from industry partnering, or from your internships in very many ways. In college, you are free to do so many things, and there are so many sources of learning. So as a first year student, I would tell you people, please learn. See, because who masters the subject is not the person who excels in the industry. Who masters the art of learning is the person who excels in industry. That is the difference. The difference is like not just a person who did well in your subject is going to be the person who is going to be doing great in any industry. But who mastered the art of learning, like learning from different sources, like listening, investigating, doing your own inquiries and all that. People who do that, they are the people who excel in industry. That's why you will see, oh, a person didn't get great marks in his college, but then they are doing greatly in industry or any other place. The reason is they mastered the art of learning, just not the subject. So this is one thing that I just want to want you to think about. Like now, learning is very important, and learning, you know, it's a multi-dimensional thing. It's not just a simple thing. I'll just tell you one small story, like now around that. You know, there was a person who stood on a 9th floor building, and then he said, I'm going to commit suicide. People said, don't. And then he fell down, and then he committed suicide. He died. And when they did the postmortem investigation, they found that actually he died by a bullet wound in his brain. So it was surprise. Everybody thought it's a murder. Everybody thought it's a suicide, but it seems to be a murder. Somebody has shot him in his head. And then they know that there was nobody on the terrace. So further investigation revealed that actually, there was a shot that came out of the 8th floor or 7th floor, and then it kind of pierced this person's brain, and he died instantly, and then he fell down. So when he was falling, somebody has shot, and then that bullet wound has killed him. So it seems to be a murder. But then again, no, further investigation, they found out that there was an old man and his wife staying in that place, and that old man always used to joke or threaten his wife, saying that, hey, I'm going to shoot you with a revolver which is empty. It was never loaded. So he would just used to threaten, and then but on that day, he threatened and he clicked, and then actually bullet got fired. He didn't load the bullet. Somebody else loaded the bullet. Then again, on further investigation, they found out that actually the person who was dead was this man's son, this old man's son. And he wanted to somehow get rid of his father and mother. So he kind of loaded the revolver, and he thought that if his father shoots his mother accidentally, then one will get killed, another will go to jail. But his father never shot, he never took up the revolver. So he got kind of pissed off, and then he went and committed suicide. So now the question is it suicide or murder? So the point is information is multidimensional. We often think information in one way, but information is multidimensional. Learning is all about actually understanding this multidimensional information. And this is what you have to realize when you are studying. It could be your subjects, it could be anything that you are reading. Unless you have an enthusiasm to go through, investigate, find out multi-dimensions, you are not learning. So this is the first point that I would like to tell you. And another thing is that, this learning is continuous. In fact, it was Mahatma Gandhi who first said that adult education is lifelong. See, because education is about body, spirit, and mind, he said. And if you are serving the society, when serving the society is not absence of education, it's a complementary to your education. You are actually learning in different modes. So it's a lifelong education. And when I say lifelong, again, I get another story. There was this 80-year-old woman who wanted to swim, and she went to a swimming class and said, oh, teach me swimming. And so the people said, no, you are very old. How can you swim? They said, no, somehow I want to learn. I want to swim. And then they said, why you want to swim? Then she said, I overheard my son and daughter-in-law talking. My daughter-in-law is telling my son, when I and your mom both fall in the well, whom will you save first? So I don't want to burden my son, so I will learn swimming and I will save myself. So this may be a joke, but then if you look at it, that's the spirit that we have to learn. Learning is not going to stop. Learning is lifelong. Learning is going to be all through in your industry. People who learn continuously in their industry life, they excel and prosper. So the next this thing that I want to talk about is, we are talking about learning, we are talking about building up knowledge, but what is this knowledge? Because, see, sometimes we mix up talent and knowledge. Talent is different, knowledge is different. Talent is something that comes innate to you. Maybe you have some talent that helps you get to somewhere, but then that doesn't become knowledge. There is a very ancient story. I don't know, I've read it in Ramayana, I think, in very, very long back. There was this Rishi's son. The Rishi was a very well-read person. So he wanted to become a well-read person like his father. So he said, he told his father, how do I become well-read and wisdomic, just like that? His father said, no, you cannot. You have to do hard work. You have to learn. He said, no, give me a shortcut. The father said, there's no shortcut. Then this guy said, let me do a penance. And then he did a penance. And after a hard penance, God appeared before him and asked him, what do you want? Then he said, I want to become, I want to have all the wisdom in my brain. Then God said, no, that's not possible. But what I can give you is a talent to throw spear. So whomever you throw spear at, whatever you throw spear at, it will exactly strike that person. So that is an innate talent that you get. I will give you the talent. So fine, the guy was happy. And one day he was sleeping. And then he kind of heard some sounds nearing his house. He just woke up, he saw one kind of an animal moving in the darkness. He then lifted a spear. He wanted to test his talent, right? He lifted a spear and threw the spear on that animal. And then, the spear exactly struck, and then there was a loud shout. But it was a human, it was his father. Actually, his father had gone out in the night, and then he was coming back, like now wearing a blanket and all that, and then this guy's spear had gone and struck him. So his father was then told him, like, no, see, you mistook talent and knowledge. Talent is different. You got the talent, but you didn't have the knowledge of what kind of animals will come at this time, what kind of sounds their footsteps will make, what kind of noises, like no, what kind of groans they make. There is a lot of knowledge and information that is present that you have to learn. You didn't learn that. So basically, it's all about like now practicing to listen. It's about processing information. It's about planning our action and execution. You had nothing. You just thought, no, your talent is there, and then you mistook it and you had killed me now. So this is what is the difference. Like now, knowledge is not going to come to you very easily because it is multidimensional, as I said before, and then you have to really work hard for it. And the third thing I will tell you is that be a rebel. Now, people mistake, like now when I say be a rebel, oh, like no, should we be a rebel? Yes, be a rebel. Don't be a conformist. And this is exactly what Kumaravel said in a different way. I would say be a rebel, don't be a conformist. You know, have you seen elephants, huge elephants, like now, you will see that those huge elephants are tied up with a chain, which is very weak, and sometimes those chains are not even tied to a peg. But the elephants will just be standing there always. They will not move. And why they will not move is because when they were young, they were tied up with the same chain. And they were tied to a peg. And they will try to get out. And they will never not be able to get out. So this knowledge, like know that, oh, I cannot get out of this peg, or I cannot get out of this binding, has kind of gone deep-rooted in them, and then they will stop trying. So now what happens, they have grown in size. They have become so huge for that rope. They can easily pull it off, but they will not try. They will not try because their knowledge that they gained previously has become their enemy. They are not going to, they're just there. So be a rebel. Be a rebel, think differently. Think like, no, why it cannot be done. And it is nothing wrong. Like now, in fact, in Logitech, where I do, our CEO has one practice. What he does is, like now he says that people who come in, like now the first 3 months, he asks for feedback from them. He tells them, hey, give me a lot of things that you found out. Because you are new, you are just getting into Logitech, you have a lot of things, you can give a lot of feedback and ideas, you are bringing in fresh perspectives. So, and then he collects feedback from them. Similarly, after 6 months, he collects feedback from them. But by 1 year, they have kind of become used to Logitech ways, right? They have become all what we call in Tamil, ore kottail ore mattai. So, they become accustomed. So, that's all. Like no, but the first 6 months, right, are where they really have a lot of fresh perspectives. See, we all have come into this life with newly, right? We are all freshly born, right? So we have to come up with our own new perspectives. And if you come up with new perspectives, people are going to say you are a rebel, and be a rebel. Don't be afraid about it. Now, the point is when people say, oh, be a rebel, people think that they should not collaborate. No, we should collaborate. You should be a rebel, but you should collaborate. Because collaboration is the way in which the world functions today. Today, for even doing any small things, you go to industry, you go to politics, you go to business, you go to anywhere, collaboration is the key. Unless we are able to work as a team, we will not be able to achieve anything in this world. So, it's important that we are able to cultivate team working. Again, there's a small story, right? Like in a room, right? There were a lot of people. So, they gave a set of balloons. And balloons had the names of people. So they just threw in the balloons randomly. And then they said, hey, come, take these balloons. Find out the name of, pick the balloon in which your name is written. That's the challenge. In one room, people are just trying to rush, kind of take the balloon, see, oh, it's not my name, throw it out. Then take my name. And then they were just trying to fight. And it never, like now, ended. In another room, people said, oh, they took it. Oh, this is the name. Then, hey, come on, they called that guy. Hey, come on, here it is. Here, balloon, take it. Like this, each one who got a balloon with a different name, they gave it to the right person. And now everybody got that, this thing. So it's but just collaboration. So the point is, like now, collaboration is the essence of the organizational, any organization. So in Logitech, we call it as challenge, but collaborate. Be a rebel, but collaborate. So you have to challenge. In fact, we tell people, if you are a manager, invite challenges. If you are a team member, challenge. Challenge anything, no problem at all. Challenge, but collaborate. So that's the third thing I will leave that as a thought with you. The next thing that I would talk about is, again, like something that Mr. Kumaravel referred to, it's about failing. Like now, I would say like now, okay, you would have heard stories of the spider kind of like trying again and again, to climb up, and then a king seeing it, and then the spider succeeded 9th time. So the king getting inspired, and then he will go and then he will win and all that. So if you ask me, will repeated failures lead to success? I will say, I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. Failures don't lead to success automatically, first of all. No, not at all possible. At least no. That in whatever experience I've had, failures don't lead to success. And again, is there any recipe for success? There is no recipe for success. And that's what we do. Like now, so the point is like now, in any failure, right, you should have a yardstick for failure. You should know that something is failing. And if you have a yardstick for failure, and you know something is going to fail, then you will come to know of failure a priori. Okay, I'm going to fail here. What can I do best to salvage the situation? Maybe I'll just go and fail again. But I may fight with it and fail. Or I may fight with it and make it a success. But I should know that I'm failing. Many times, what we do is, we have a blind hope that we are going to succeed. We keep doing the same thing again and again and again. But that blind hope is not going to lead to any success. So that's what we call as fail fast. Fail fast means have a yardstick for failure, understand that you're going to fail, don't be blinded by your hope or a belief that you're going to succeed, and just like now, have those yardsticks as a feedback and course correct as much as possible, as early as possible. One example I can give you is that about Nokia. I don't know if maybe you are all 2K kids, but the 90s kids will have a lot of experience on Nokia phones. Nokia was a brand. Like now, Nokia was the first ones to make phones a great success. And Nokia phones ruled the world. But when the smartphone revolution took up, Nokia management refused to realize that, and when their sales were falling, the Nokia management refused to take it as a yardstick for their failure, that world is changing. Instead, they said, smartphones are not going to replace our territory. So it kept on and on and on. And finally, like now one day it was so bad that Nokia CEO made a speech to his employees. Team, we are in a ship with fire. I have no other option but to dive into the ocean. That's what he said to his employees. So such a brand like Nokia, which was so big, because they didn't have any yardstick for failure, they kind of failed totally. They tied up with Microsoft. And again, I can also tell you another story. Like similarly, Microsoft, under the leadership of Satya Nadella, when he took over, right, again, they had this Nokia, Microsoft had the Surface business, Surface tablet business. And they did reasonably well. And while they were going on, Satya Nadella figured out that his business is not going to succeed as much in the tab space, in the mobile space, as whatever other people are. So he immediately, once he had this yardstick for failure and it tripped him, he said, let me somehow jiggle out of this business. And he got out of the business. He put Microsoft more on cloud services like LinkedIn and all that. And today, now they are indeed successful because he reacted that for a possibility to fail. And then he did it and then he came out of it. So basically, like now, again, if I interpret it to you, like now, maybe you have a tough subject, you should know, like now, that you are going to fail in something even before you know that it is that you are going to actually fail. Maybe it's an exam, maybe in future in your career, in any place. And unless you have any yardstick for failure, you will not be able to realize that you are going to fail. So again, this is something that we have as a culture in Logitech. We write in many places. We say, decide and do. Fail. It's okay to fail. Perfectly, no problem at all. And again, if you ask me, okay, because I'm course correcting, will I not fail? No, you may still fail. You may have a lot of failures. And failing is not bad. You can fail all life. No problem to me, actually, if you ask me. As long as we are able to understand the reasoning and then course correct, learn from it, keep on doing it, it's perfectly fine. In Logitech, from 2011 to probably 2021, we did, I was associated with at least 7 or 8 products that we developed totally from Logitech. One was a runaway success. One was okay, successful. And maybe another one was okay. The rest were all commercial failures. And that's fine. As long as we are able to figure out that it's going to fail, and then we are able to do whatever we can, it's perfectly fine. So I would strongly encourage people to be not afraid of failure in a very jocular manner. At least in the 90s kids case or before that, people were afraid of failure. Particularly Indians have the stigma of failure because, they won't get married, they won't get this, they won't get that and all that. But I think 2K kids have no problem. Anyway, they are not getting married. So you can boldly fail, you can try, and no problem at all. And the 5th point that I would leave with you is enjoy. Enjoy what you are doing. Because finally, right, it's all about that enjoyment. See, we are all in a team. I told you, wherever you have an opportunity to rebel, no problem. But at the same time, I said collaborate. But at the same time, right, we may have to do certain things because the team that we are in, right, we are in a team. Whether it is a business, whether it is politics, whether it is industry, whether it is college, we are in a team. And not that all times everything, whatever we think will happen. So we have to, we go with the team, we fight within the teams, but yet at some point we collaborate. So we may have to do things which we may like, we may not like. But whatever we do, enjoy what you are doing. Because that enjoyment and passion, if it is not there, then there's no point. The essence of what you're doing is lost. So I would say, the last point I would say is, learn to enjoy whatever you are doing. So with these 5 points, I would thank again all the people for giving me an opportunity to talk to this August forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your insightful delivery, sir. We are sure your stories will keep us motivated in our future endeavors. I requested Mr. Balaji Rajaram to join the other dignitaries. Now that we have the official website ready at our fingertips, aren't you all curious about the most unrivaled part of Kurukshetra's Gandru? You have probably figured it by now. So let's give it up for the official theme launch for K22. Yes, ahead of time is the promo for Kurukshetra 2022. We strive to work towards futuristic logistics and fasten your seatbelts and expect for the best. Let's give it up for our last speaker of the day, Mr. Jayandran Venukopal, the Chief Product and the Technology Officer at Flipkart. He is an alumnus of CEG who is innovating new technologies out in the world. Sir has been working on vast platform of big data system, data science, and also been creating amazing user interface experiences in his field. We would be honored to welcome Mr. Jayandran Venukopal sir, our third speaker of the day. He will join us live to provide us an insightful session.
All right. And if at any point there is any problem with my audio quality, etc., I'm assuming somebody will unmute from your side and let me know, right? Because I mean, that would be internet issues and so on. So, all right. Okay. So, first of all, thanks a lot to all of you, all the organizers for inviting me to this event. It is indeed a privilege for me to be in this stage, and I do wish very much that it was in happier circumstances without COVID, then I would have jumped at the opportunity to come back to my own alma mater and be on the stage physically. Nothing would have given me more pleasure, but the situations being what they are, we are forced to do this virtually. But I do hope that at some point I would get the opportunity to come and meet all of you in person and interact in person as well. So to think about the fact that I left the college 24 years back now, so I'm probably most of you are not even born by then. Makes me feel indeed very, very old. But that said, I mean, that is no better honor than coming back to your own alma mater and being able to address all of you in my research, following the path that you followed, maybe more than 2 decades back. So in that sense, very happy to do that. The organizers asked me to basically narrate my own kind of like journey. And also talk a little bit about what I think all of you should be looking at from a forward-looking perspective, and I'm going to do that. I see somebody kind of posting something, and I see my camera view. Is everything okay? There's no issue, right? Okay. So I was there in campus between 94 to 98, and then I was doing my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. fluid dynamics, which is also in mechanical engineering field, and then I also did a master's in computer science. When I realized that I was very energized by the field of computer science, which was emerging to be a game changer, right? It was kind of changing society as we know it at that time. The internet was still in very, very early days. Cell phones were not at all there. Much less being accessible and as it was as it is today, right? Very early versions of cell phones were there. So it felt like the telecommunications technology, consumer internet, etc. Really big in terms of social change and create a lot of opportunities for people who are interested in that, and I therefore jumped into it headlong. And of course, I mean, went through a 22-year plus career now, doing various roles in various companies. I won't go into all of that, but largely I just worked across several consumer internet companies in e-commerce, digital payments, video technology, content management, telehealth. I did my own startup in between as well. And of course, now again back to fashion tech and e-commerce. Right? So they did a variety of roles. I've thoroughly enjoyed my journey. And what I did realize through all of that, I thought there were a few things that I wish somebody had told me several years back, right? So that's where I thought I structured my talk around. And I did want to actually maybe spend maybe 5 minutes at the end of it or so, instead of talking straight up for 20 minutes, maybe this is a 5 minutes end for just answering any questions that you may have. I do hope that there is a mic around and people can ask questions. So I will hope to reserve maybe at least 5 minutes for some interaction at least that people do. So one thing I do realize, I mean, fresh out of college, let's say when you're coming out, I know many of you are maybe first year students, you still have a few more years to go before you get to that stage. But one of the things that I do believe, like as aspiring engineers or engineers about to graduate, that none of us actually pay a lot of attention to is about knowing yourself better, right? Like knowing your own aspirations better. We largely end up listening to advice of other people because what for somebody else is counted as something that we should also aspire to, and then many times we end up blindly following that, right? So I'm sure many of us even ended up choosing your field of studies just because somebody else told you, hey, there is a huge scope in that and you should do it, right? I do believe that it is never too late to actually look at yourself deeply. Look at what is it that really motivates you, what is it that you are passionate about, what field of learning actually gives you a lot of joy. And each of us also have a lot of differences, right? There are a lot of individual differences about how we function best. Some people really like to go deep into one subject, stick to it and go deeper and deeper, and that gives them a lot of satisfaction. Others are more happy learning lots of new things, so they are more breadth specialists, right? So they really like to be generalists. And even in terms of learning modes, many people actually like tactile learning, practical experiential learning. Others like more abstract thinking and learning through reading and visual input stimulate them a lot more, and so on and so forth. Right? So there are lots of differences. And when I was a student, I never heard of things like psychometric tests, things like Myers-Briggs type indicators, know your own personality better, or even Hogan assessment and tools like that, right? You don't even need to go to that sort of thing. Even just sitting and thinking about it yourself, just putting down words on paper, talk to your own friends, people who know you better, understand how they think about you, what do they think about you, right? And that, I think, is a really big investment all of us miss making well into kind of like several years of your corporate life is when people start realizing that, hey, emotional intelligence and really understanding what makes me tick is something that is very important for me to know, right? So that I can cater my own choices in terms of career path, fields of study, industry or domain what I want to work in, etc. Right? So that's something that I would highly advise all of you to think about. One more thing I do actually tell people is that I think the times are changing very fast, right? Several years back when all of us graduated, right, 24 years back now, right? It almost felt like, okay, you have done all the studying you needed to do, now it's time to go apply what you studied and maybe build an entire career out of just what you done, right? I think it is so long. I mean, it can be in any field, right? It is not, this is not only true only for areas like, let's say, computer science or anything like that, right? You could be doing material science engineering, mining engineering, printing technology, you could be doing anything, right? Every single thing that you know is being appended heavily, right? In terms of basically some of the new things that are happening around you, right? So some of the new enabling technologies are completely disrupting ways of thinking, changing industries en masse. And it is very important for engineers who want to be at the top of their game to always keep investing in learning. And thankfully, I think these days learning is not only happening in colleges and universities, right? Obviously, having a very strong foundation in a college like ours is going to do you a world of good, but that will not be enough, right? If you don't invest in continuous learning beyond that, you will soon find yourself outdated, right? So, and these days it's very easy to find extremely high quality learning materials to continuously keep updating yourself with what is the latest and greatest in any given field. And it is also very important to actually go beyond the bookish learning and actually do hands-on projects. I think knowing by doing is always better than just reading or listening or anything, right? Many people, when I ask them, what do you do to learn, they say, I look at YouTube videos, right? That's great. You're looking at YouTube videos of at least something educational rather than cats doing interesting things, dancing and making you laugh. That is a great start. So I'm not believing in that, but what really sticks with people is what they actually do, right? Use your hands, build something, right? If you're a computer science engineer, go write some code, see how it works, right? Struggle with bugs that you encounter, and so on and so forth, right? If you're a mechanical engineer, build prototypes, right? Build models, see it in action. I think those kind of things I think are very important for people to just take back. So the other thing I also perhaps realized, I mean, many of us in our generation realize it's a bit too late in our career, right? But the sooner you realize that it gives you really that much of an edge, right? Is that it is very important that whatever you're doing, right, you may be in any field, whatever you're doing, you need to actually find a deeper purpose and meaning that can act as a foundation for what you do, right? At some point when you do something day in and day out, right, what I have realized is that if you're not able to connect it back to something which is beyond yourself, right? Obviously, every one of us is going to do our careers and our first order of business will be about how do I take care of myself, my family, provide for my children, and so on and so forth, right? Personal health creation, and all of that is, of course, very important, right? But beyond that, I do believe that if there is no deeper purpose in what you're doing, right, and you're able to connect what you're doing to that, it at some point ends up burning you out, right? And I'm not saying that when I'm saying that find a purpose and meaning, I'm not saying that all of you should start holding Qatar's blogs and raise slogans or become activists, right? If that is your passion, by all means go to it, right? But like for example, all I'm saying is like in whatever you do, right, find something that you do where you feel like you're actually taking a cause up within your corporation enterprise, which is for the larger good, which is for social good. For example, right, maybe let's say you're a banker. Somebody could say, what can a banker do? Like, I mean, how can they find very deep purpose and meaning, right? You could be in your, let's say, in your banker's career. You could actually say that, look, I am going to be a champion or the voice of the underbanked and unbanked within my bank. And I'm going to champion that cause, and every opportunity I get, I'm going to go pitch to my management, what are we doing to enable people who are currently unbanked, how do we extend our credit to those people, etc. Right? So that's an example of how you could make a difference. Even let's say if you're a banker, there are people making that look, it's a job, 9 to 5 job or something, right? Like maybe you're, let's say, engineer in a mine, you are, let's say, you're in oil, maybe some of you are studying petroleum engineering or something like that, right? It could be about you being the champion of, okay, why we are doing what we are doing as an economic activity, what are we doing about the larger cause of sustainable technology, right? So all I'm saying is, in whatever you are doing, find something that is meaningful, that you are passionate about, that you are able to connect to, and then take that up as something that you will champion as a part of your job, right? So that, I believe, always gives you that edge of having that passion and commitment that goes beyond doing what everybody else is doing as a regular corporate job. So that is one thing I would say, right? And in general, this is a saying that all of you would know. Right? So people say, like, the higher your aspirations are, the loftier your goals are. I think that kind of defines where you will reach in your life, right? So obviously, if you shoot for something which is small, then like there's nothing beyond that you could do, right? Mike Tyson apparently famously said that, look, if I shoot for the moon, I know that even if I don't reach the moon, I'll at least land up in the clouds, right? So that is another thing I would definitely point out. So I don't know how many of you, I know most of you are from Tamil Nadu and therefore understand Tamil, right? So one of the things that I want to talk about as relating to the last point that I talked about, right? In terms of having lofty goals, high thoughts, and that defining how far you can place is actually a curriculum, right? So basically, it is a part of the Adhigaram called Venuko. It says, "Vellathanayedu malarneetam mandartham ullathanayedu kiyar." Right? So I would say that, so please keep that in mind. I find that as a very inspirational sort of tool to carry through all your life. And with that, I will stop so that I have at least a few minutes to answer any questions that any of you have. Thank you.
Any of you who have any questions can feel free to raise your hands and shoot them out. From the crowd, anyone? Anyone who wants to ask any questions?
I don't know if I put everyone to sleep or it's okay that would you have any questions? I don't know. Yeah, can't see everybody here.
This is your first K talk. Don't be afraid. So you can ask any questions related. He'll be with us for another 5 minutes. So, anyone? Anyone from upstairs?
Okay, I'm not able to hear anyone asking anything, so I assume that there are no questions. If the organizers can confirm, I'll just close with the closing note.
Thank you, sir.
We are much elated that you joined us in this evening. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. All the very best for your event. I think I'm sure you will enjoy this message. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jay, for taking time off. I'm sure it would have been much better if you would have been on the campus. But again, hoping your words have inspired the students and they continue to aim high and grow in their careers as well.
The event has reached its end. On behalf of the entire fraternity of the management, I request our treasurer, Dr. V. Sendil Kumar sir, to deliver the special vote of thanks.
Good evening to one and all present here. A warm welcome to all the dignitaries present here with us for the second episode of K Talks. It's truly been honored to be here and witness such a magnificent evening. CEG Tech Forum is a pivot of all technical pursuits and innovation in the college. As a student-run organization, it was started with the objective of providing a platform for the students to demonstrate their innovative thoughts and talents. And the Kurukshetra can be termed as the brainchild of this ETF. First of all, I would like to thank our chief guest, Mr. C.K. Kumaravel, who serves as an inspiration to all. And thank you for delivering the motivation speech for our students here, sir, regarding this entrepreneurship. I would like to extend my thanks to Mr. Balaji Rajaram, who is a source of ingenuity for all of us. Thank you for your wonderful speech, sir, and how to overcome the failures and how to make it success. I would then like to thank Mr. Jayandran Venuko, who was not able to join us live, but we have been fortunate to get connected to the virtuality. And thank him for his advice, kind advices for the students. And say normally your the teaching learning process takes place in the institution level, but only when this outside, from the people from outside came as an industrial persons, then our knowledge transfer takes place very much, and their motivational speech encourages for become an entrepreneurship or how to overcome your difficulties and how to succeed in your life. And a special thanks for our Dean, Dr. L. Suganti. We are very fortunate to have such a wonderful person providing us enormous support in all our activities. And finally, I would like to thank our Dr. S. Swaminathan sir, the Chief Coordinator of CEG Tech Forum, and all our staff coordinators of CEG Tech Forum, and the student directors for their tireless efforts. My words may not be capable of communicating our sense of gratitude to everyone present level. Here we are at the end of our function today. Looking forward to perceive the glimpses of the 16th edition of Kurukshetra this April. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I take this opportunity once again to extend my sincere thanks to the respected Dean of College of Engineering, Gindi, our Chief Coordinator, and other staff coordinators who have guided us to make this event a grand success. We are indeed profoundly inspired by all speakers who have joined us amidst this challenging social setting. All's well that ends well. We look forward to catching up with you all in the upcoming events of Kurukshetra 22. Cheers to your brighter dawn. This is Anjali signing off.
Students, please be seated. We will be leaving one by one, and the side doors will be open, and you can leave through them. But please do be seated for another couple of minutes before you can leave. Thank you. Guys, please be seated. We have the lucky draw as you have announced before. So please be seated and then you can leave.